Today I woke up thinking about Audrey Hobart and the bad bitch pop girl economy and how her kind of archetype in pop music now is one that's not really before seen or even considered mainstream. I think it goes without saying that in pop music, what's expected is polish and marketability. And in the internet era, with beauty standards getting even more insane, we have pop acts performing at a level of impeccability that is kind of insane, which brings us an era of pop songstresses who kind of directly counteract or address those sort of pressures. But even ideas of vulnerability in the pop music space still feel contrived and still feel a little put on, which is why I think some pop girls have faced certain public criticisms and why I think Audrey Hobart's quote unquote brand and style of songwriting is feels so vulnerable and authentic in a world of Instagram faces and um, anthemic bad bitch pop girl songwriting. And I don't think she's the only one sort of doing a cutting edge take on pop stardom. I think Chaperone is queering the idea of a pop girl and of girlhood in general. And I think Sabrina Carpenter has a similar brand of tongue in cheek, self deprecating humor that we don't really see in pop music, but her style is much more of like a campy 1950s Marilyn Monroe, like in overdrive on aesthetics that still, in a sense, is feeding the machine of what we kind of expect, like a high level of production from these girls. And I don't think this styling sort of exists in a vacuum because I think Addison Rae is doing a similar sort of thing. They're both sort of taking us on an emotional journey that fits in the language of like growing up in the early 2000s and reflecting girlhood in a messy, undone, unstudied, and looked upon way. And I think this is what Taylor Swift meant when she says, I'm not a bad bitch, this isn't savage. The pressure to perform some sort of girl power, yet I have a perfectly smooth face and I don't age sort of thing is exhausting for a lot of people. And I like to see representations of a girl experience that is reflective of that. And I think she does a really good job. And while her undone, unstudied sort of look is sort of directly referential to internet aesthetics, I do think it sort of breaks the ceiling in a certain way. And I hope we see more of this in the mainstream. And I wonder how much of an effect Addison Rae and Audrey Hobart's sort of look or archetype bleeds into the mainstream now that we're at like an all time high in saturation of perfect, beautiful faces and flawless choreography and just bad bitch lyrics, you know?